Oh, well, what do you do? All right. Hey, everybody. We are live. Welcome to another edition of Deconversion Stories. I am, of course, your host, Neil the 604 Atheist. And today I have my good friend, Cingeto of Belgae. That's how it's pronounced, right? If I remember correctly. Right. Now, you are a pagan, so you're not quite what we would refer to as an atheist, although they do have a label of atheo-pagan, whatever the fuck that means. But
it's complicated.
There's
like Schrodinger's atheist. There's all that fun stuff.
Schrodinger's atheist. That's hilarious.
They kind of believe in the gods, but they kind of don't.
Am I not? Yeah. I guess
depends on the box you're in.
Yeah, I guess you could say I was that at one time when I was doing my paganism thing, right? Because I was always like, I don't know, none of this shit seems to work. I don't know what the hell's going on. And then finally, I just dug my way right out of it all myself, anyways. But so take us back to when you were actually like in one of the actually, because I believe you told me you were once involved like with Christianity, correct?
Mm-hmm. I was first, I think is the proper term is charismatic Christianity. Ooh. Not Pentecostal. It's kind of like Pentecostal, but a
lot more rowdy.
Less emphasis on the tradition and more emphasis on the spiritual highs and stuff like that.
Okay,
kind of like that. It's kind of like Baptists, but where they do speak in tongues. Kind of like that. I was what I was for a while, and then eventually around time I turned 10, I became a Messianic Jew and joined a synagogue and went ahead with all that kind of stuff.
We have a connection there.
Oh, you're a Messianic Jew or a regular Jew?
I was just regular Jew. I was a well-done Jew. I mean, I was raised in the Jewish faith, so
like contemporary or Hasidic or Orthodox or
not Hasidic. I would say contemporary, or what we used to refer to ourselves as conservative Jews or whatever.
I've heard that. I've heard contemporary or conservative.
Reform Jews, whatever.
I've heard Reform too.
But I got into that Messianic stuff or the Kabbalistic.
Kabbalah.
Yeah, Jews for Messianic. Yeah.
Jews for Jesus, kind of, but different.
Right.
It's like different orgs, but similar concepts.
Yeah. It's well, yeah. That kind of stuff is just it's out there. Some of that stuff, man, holy cow. But anyways, carry on.
Yeah, so basically around the time I was 10, I eventually my mom had gone through a divorce, and by the time she remarried, I went ahead and went to my mother's new husband introduced her to a different kind of religion, Messianic Judaism, which was kind of like a blending of Christianity and Judaism, where you have a lot of the essentials of the Christian faith, but then you also have Jewish traditions and Jewish grounding and a Jewish look at things. Like you would generally do, say, you think what's a good example? You do like you'd open up the Torah or the Ark, which held the Torah, not the literal Ark, but like the Ark of the Covenant sort of thing, like a large
big thing. You open the doors and there's like 3 scrolls. And
you've seen those? Yeah, we had 3 of them. They're all Holocaust survivors too.
Wow.
They're really old, like 60 or 70. I don't remember exactly.
Hey, whoa. I'm almost 60. Well, not quite, but I'm getting there.
They do that. They do the Torah walk every month. And then they do the, what was it? It's been a while since I've been there. I think they did they did several things every month. I remember even studied a lot of the stuff and had my bar tzaddik because I'm a Gentile, so I didn't get a bar mitzvah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Right. And then, so I basically did all that for a while. Let me think what else. What other distinctions? I'd say the other distinctions would be things like the olive branch parable and stuff like that. They kind of apply that kind of philosophy where it's more of a grafting where you don't have to be ethnically Jewish, where it is in some places where ethnicity is either heavily stressed or it is, or it's just kind of, you don't say it, but it kind of just is. I know in there it was a fairly different when they let other people in, but I still had a sense there was some kind of hierarchy between ethnicity within there.
Well, yeah, you let's say would never be able to become a Hasidic Jew.
I would not, definitely.
You could possibly, with the right quote unquote training, become an Orthodox, but you couldn't go full out Hasidic.
I could try, but I'd fail.
Probably.
I don't have any Jewish blood. I checked frequently while I was in that religion. That was probably one of the biggest reasons and issues I had with it was because of the identity conflict it put in within me.
Right.
I basically had spent so much time wanting to become a Jew, even though I wasn't. I couldn't accept who I was, and I genuinely. This is not to hate on Jews, by the way. This is just
No.
genuinely the kind of thing it put into me, an unhealthy obsession with that, where I was doing like DNA tests and everything, trying to find some hidden Jewish ancestor that I didn't have.
You know what? To be honest, I was adopted. So doing my DNA work, there's really no actual Jewish relatives in my, except for like one, I think way back, like 4 generations back, that married into the family. So really, I'm not technically, if you go by the book, I'm not technically a Jew, or I wasn't technically a Jew.
Your mother was Jewish, though.
No, she was a Christian.
She wasn't?
My birth mother was a Christian. Yeah.
Oh, your birth mother. Your adopted mother was Jewish, though, right?
Oh, indeed, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But she still is.
How would the Hasidic Jews treat that? I don't know. I'm curious.
They wouldn't accept me.
Huh.
They already threatened to throw stones at me when I lived in Israel. So,
oh, really?
Yeah. I actually bought a T-shirt that said I got stoned in Mea Shearim, which is where they all live.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
I didn't get that. I get the shirt. It's just, gosh. Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know they were that bad, man.
Oh, man. If you're smoking on Sabbath, they'll throw rocks at you. If you're holding hands, they'll throw rocks at you. If you're giving up too much skin, they throw rocks at you.
Wow.
Yeah, they're hardcore.
Wow. I wasn't that familiar with the Hasidic Jews. I know a bit about the Orthodox and the traditions of where you'd wrap around the I can't remember the name of the boxes, but the boxes with the leather straps where you wrap it around your arm and your forehead. And if you don't have the marks, you can't get into like
Talit?
Phylactery, the phylactery. No, not the talit. Like, you know, the
talis is the shawl, right?
Yeah, that's the shawl. The phylactery is like the leather straps with the box that has like the Shema on it.
The Shema, yeah, Shema Yisrael and all that, and they have it on the on the
I
wrist.
still remember the chants I used to do. Like Shema Yisrael, Adonai Elohim, Adonai Echad.
Yeah, yeah. Ooh, look, he's even got the ch in there.
I got the. I spit on you if you're too close.
Now I have to wipe my screen down. What the hell's going on?
Yeah, that's actually helpful because in Gaulish you have too. So
yeah.
Learning Hebrew is actually pretty beneficial in my opinion. Or I know a bit. I know how to say it. I don't know how to read it.
I can read it and write it and speak it. Not quite to the degree I used to be able to, but yeah.
To find my old book. I don't know where I put it, but I had an old book about it. It was I liked the synagogue to an extent, but the identity conflict was one of the biggest things that I had there because, like I already said, I was stressing it too much. And also, I remember their disdain for really anything quote unquote pagan or Gentile and things like that. Like, remember one thing where they discouraged everyone there from doing anything with Halloween or Christmas and things like that.
Really?
Well, they'd allow Christmas, but it wasn't like it was encouraged. It was like kind of like it was permitted. If that makes sense.
Sure.
Things along those lines. They really,
Our rabbi was quite forgiving with my grandmother because she remarried a Christian guy, so they would do Hanukkah and Christmas, right?
Yeah, we would do Hanukkah and Christmas, but it was kind of permitted. It was permitted, but it wasn't like liked.
Well, they look away, they overlook, they go, I don't know what's going on, right? That kind of thing. Just not to rock the boat, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't want to paint it as a horribly negative experience, but I do want to explain the issues I did have with it too. So I'm trying to keep within that balance. And then around the time, and I'll also give you a little bit more about my background. I've given you the Jewish part. Let me give you the evangelical fundamentalist part.
All right.
Because I was way into that stuff.
Put on your seatbelts, kids.
So basically, I was a young Earth creationist. Into people. I liked Kent Hovind for a while, and then I eventually quit liking him when I remember hearing what's his name Ken Ham had to say about him. So I quit liking Kent Hovind, and I was a super big fan of Ken Ham. Like I was his fanboy. And let me think, what else? What experience did I have? I remember meeting him at a Baptist church in a fairly decent sized city. It was a big old mega Baptist church I went down to meet Ken Ham, and boy was he an ass to me. He's basically acted like one of those celebrities high off their fame. Like I was trying to thank him for everything, and like that's how I know he's a fake today, is how he acted towards me just left a bad taste. I don't think he's genuine. He just does not seem genuine after that experience. He
lives a life of lies, so what do you expect?
Yeah, I mean, but I figured he'd at least be like Ray Comfort and be at least trying to convert people genuinely.
Right. Did you see my portrayal of Ray Comfort?
I love your Ray Comfort accent.
You know what? It came out a little lower than I thought it was going to, so I didn't have time to redo it. Otherwise, I would have. But in the future, I'll make much better. It's pretty funny.
I was like,
Santa Claus. Sorry, man. Santa Claus in the chat thought I did a really shitty job at it, but that's okay. He's entitled to his opinion.
Yeah, you are, but
because he's like 900 years old, though.
You're entitled to your opinion, but it's wrong. No, I'm kidding. But
it's wrong. Opinions are fine. Informed opinions are much better.
Opinions are like buttholes. Everyone got them, and they all stink.
Yep.
I like that. Let me think. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, like I was a big fanboy of Ken Ham for a while until that experience. Like I wanted to work at the Arc Encounter so bad.
Really?
Yes, really. Let me think.
Goodness.
Like I was genuinely trying to plan out my college career to end up working at the Arc Encounter. And I remember at my Christian school, I got an entire education. My dual enrollment with big quotation marks class for like biology was just creationist propaganda. The entire class. I wish I was joking. I got me through. I still got credit, but still, it was. Thank goodness I ended up finding people who actually taught me what this stuff actually means. Like my first introduction at this old, what was it? My first school I can remember when I was actually in like first grade and stuff was like some old house with like 12 people in it. Technically, and it's like this old school I went to. And I remember my first introduction to evolution was basically, there's these people who believe snails are their grandfathers, and that's evolution. That's what he said. I'm not kidding.
Hang on, I know. I think they're a different branch, but we do now know what are they called?
I don't remember. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about their family.
The one branch after the dinosaurs or whatever, or one branch became dinosaurs and
there's the therapsids, and then there's diapsids and therapsids. I actually learned all this stuff eventually. So
yeah.
People I can think to are what's his face, Potholer 64, and Trey the Explainer are the main people who I actually learned real evolution from. If you know those people.
Which ones?
Potholer 64 and Trey the Explainer.
Yeah.
Because I remember binging those episodes and stuff to actually learn about this stuff, because I'm like, wow, I've really been lied to. Because I genuinely didn't know. Like, I genuinely thought this stuff was like, it wasn't just me trying to convert people. Like, I know I was trying to convert people, but my beliefs about evolution weren't just to convert people to make them think it's all scientific. It was genuine thought that this isn't scientific and it's being taught. I have to stop this. That's genuinely how I thought. I was wrong, but it's genuinely what I was thinking.
Right, sure. I recently discovered another channel called Primer. I don't know if you've heard of him, but he does evolutionary experimentations. He does with these little blobby dudes, and then the amount of food they get, how many survive, who becomes altruistic, who becomes greedy, because the selfish gene, which we all know everyone has, but some are a little more leaning into it than others, and it's really, really good. You guys definitely check out not Potholer. I already do check out Potholer, but Primer is the name of the channel. And he does these great little experiments, and he lets them run and to see what would happen to the little civilizations that he does these with. It's really cool.
Really interesting. I have to check that out. There's another, I can't remember the channel name, but I'm not sure if it might be Primer. I don't know. But I remember he did a little experiments with a weird computer program thing, and he made things evolve using it based off of specific actions they did, like how they walked. Like if someone, like there's specific species that could only move to the left, and there's one that could move both directions. The one that moved both directions survived. That's another thing that convinced me was that. But yeah, once I was finally explaining this stuff, it made sense. I know my parents still don't believe it and all that, but
are they Christian? Or?
They're Christian, Messianic Jews still.
Okay.
I still visit the synagogue because it's still nostalgic and I still like the people there. It's just not a good religious mindset to be in there because I'm wanting to be something I'm not, and I'm never going to be that to the extent I wanted to be.
I know. My family's rabbi is always trying to bring me back in, kind of thing, and I'm like, "Yeah, buddy, it's not going to happen."
Really? I didn't think contemporaries cared that much if you believe, just if you like came on the major holidays.
Well, he's always trying to reconvince me, I guess, to become a full-out Jew again, or a whatever the fuck we call ourselves, reform or whatever. I don't even know anymore. But my mom, it's hilarious because she'll come to my defense. She'll go, "Leave him alone, Rabbi." Like the good Jewish mom she is.
That's good. Let me think. But yeah, I remember.
Oh, Ocean and Wolf are here. Hey guys.
Woo! Yeah, that was the biggest toxic thing about that for me there. There's other things that I didn't think were very good, but that's something I thought of later on. I remember the biggest moment, and when I eventually just made my full decision to leave was actually my deconversion technically happened a year from Samhain, so a year from October 31st. It was remember beforehand we have these little teen studies where you get together, a bunch of teens study the Bible and stuff.
Sure.
And our instructors were adults and stuff, and they were talking about how you shouldn't celebrate Halloween, and I knew this because I'd studied it previously, but they butchered the origins of Halloween to make it sound horrible. Where they talked about how trick-or-treating used to come from the Druids requesting children from every house to sacrifice every year. And I'm like, that's ridiculous. That was totally ridiculous. You couldn't sustain a population if you did that. I actually know where the real trick-or-treating comes from. And I remember hearing that. And previously, beforehand, because I like to write stories and stuff, I had researched a bunch of Gnostic stuff and kind of considered myself pseudo-Gnostic. I had researched a bunch of that kind of stuff. Where the pseudepigraphica and all those fun stories, like the Book of Enoch and all that. I liked it, and I thought it'd be good stuff for a story, and I was having a bunch of ideas. And I remember
pretty much what it is just good for stories, really.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if there's any morals in the pseudepigraphica, but the stories are great.
Yeah. Ocean is claiming to be your deity right now.
You're up there, buddy.
and you're an accident, kind of like me, but I accidentally created Cingeto.
Yeah, he kind of did. He gave me the name too.
That's awesome.
I remember because he was one of the people who got me into it in the first place. Because I remember, I was watching Cirrus because I was kind of agnostic and I was looking for someone to destroy my old beliefs because I kind of irritated about them, but I didn't know exactly what to say about them because I kind of felt they were wrong and knew sort of that they were wrong, but I didn't know to the extent they were wrong. So I was listening. I remember hearing Ocean, and now here I am.
Ocean's become a very good friend to me. So
you say some damn good arguments. Got it. Like you recommended some good sources.
He says he's not your deity. He just accidentally created you. Accidentally.
Yep. Yeah, it was all strategically planned from the beginning.
Hi, Megan. Megan was my last guest, actually.
Awesome.
Yeah. Anyways, carry on. Yeah. Sorry. If you want to see the chat, you just have to look up to the right there. You go up to the right of the screen, and it should have a comments section.
I don't see any, but wait, let me see live comments. There we go. I see.
There you go.
That is beautiful. I see why y'all like this. I like this too much.
I kind of have taken a liking to StreamYard, so that's why I decided to buck up for it, so I could add my branding and all that shit, right? So.
Yeah, I'd like this. This is pretty awesome. Let's see. Let me think. Where was I? They're spreading a bunch of lies about where Halloween came from and all that. And I know my parents have never let me celebrate it, but I've still kind of tried to celebrate on my own. No.
You were never allowed to dress up and go out?
No, never.
Oh my goodness, dude.
My brothers were, but after my brothers became atheists, my parents were like, we have to crack down on this kid. Look at what it did to them. Look what it did to me.
We've lost our children.
I'm not kidding. Like all my brothers have become atheists, except for one stepbrother.
Okay.
But pretty much the rest of them are atheists right now. Or I guess my brother's spiritual but not religious. I don't know what he is, but he's something.
I hear that so much.
And every time I ask
someone, every time I ask someone to tell me what spiritual means, I get a different answer every single time.
Yes.
There are some similarities. I'm not going to lie, of course, but most of them, they're just, I guess we all have our own interpretations for all kind of religious stuff or beliefs.
Probably. It gets vague and esoteric when you get all into all it.
Yeah.
It's hard to define
That's a good
religion.
way to put it.
It's like religion's kind of, you know it when you see it. Is how I treat it, at least.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so crap, I keep getting off track. Where was I?
It's common in my chats, dude.
I love rabbit holes. I'm sorry.
Hey, especially if we catch one, then there's dinner.
Oh, yeah. Yummy. I already had dinner, though.
Rotisserie.
Rotisserie rabbit.
Never mind. There's people in the audience going, "Oh my god!" right now. Unsub, unsub.
Gonna cook Bugs Bunny.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was like, okay, so basically they were, I want to tell you a story. All right, here's an even funnier story you're gonna love. All right, so my dad, the conspiracy theorist, I can get into that in a second, but basically, he didn't even like Easter. Like, he didn't even like Easter. Like, I've done an argument about the pagan origins of Easter, but I don't think the whole thing's completely pagan. And he freaked out as if it was entirely pagan.
Really?
Like,
well, a good chunk of it comes from that, definitely.
But yeah, a decent chunk, but like not the whole thing. And here's what he was doing. He was literally he literally locked my grandma in the house so he wouldn't take my brothers to go hunting for eggs in the yard.
Yeah.
But here's the funny part. He forgot to lock the back door, so she just took them out through there.
Oh my goodness.
But my dad, I love him, but he has done some crazy stuff. Like, he freaked out on Y2K, like, even more than most people.
Really?
Oh boy.
I had a friend like that. He fucking locked himself away for the day. I'm knocking on his door, like, dude, we're going for a beer. You want to come?
He literally, like, he put trash cans full of stuff. I even think he set up a Faraday cage for any impending EMPs. Like, he put things in trash cans, all the stuff. Like,
really?
Yeah, he's big into that.
Wow. How does he feel about the 5G network?
I don't know.
Apparently, that's going to destroy everything.
That's his opinion. He probably, I don't know. Does he believe in Skynet? I don't know. Maybe.
Skynet.
But,
there's actually a company called Skynet now, which
I know.
Fucking
this
cracks
was the
me
best.
Yeah. Oh, that's it. We're done. We're done.
What happened? Skynet's coming for us.
Yeah, we're gonna die in big nuclear fire. That's it. That's all that's gonna happen. All gonna be
firebomb the
Skynet.
stream.
Yeah.
Start with us. And let me think. What else?
All right. Back to the Easter. Did you guys ever get to hunt for eggs though?
Oh yeah. My grandma's like, dude, this is stupid.
Yeah, fuck off. Let the kids play.
She's my grandma. She wouldn't say that, but she wouldn't. She's one of those grandmas. But she did not put up with that. She just took them out to hunt for eggs because it was fun.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I remember one time when I went hunting for eggs, my parents, like, I used to like to make little paper things with tape and paper, and they put like tape in an egg, and I loved it so much. It's my Easter present was a bunch of tape.
That's awesome. Now I can stick stuff to stuff.
Yeah, I like making little paper things, and I used to tape them together and cut them and stuff.
Oh, cool. At least you found a use for it. Right?
Yeah, I love.
Well, they didn't wad it up, I suppose, did they? Or...
No. It was like a tape roll.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Useful gifts. I see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not too bad.
I liked it. I don't know. Easter was fun. But yeah, he did that during Easter, and that's the extent of how evangelicals they sometimes get. I remember what else. I went to this Be in Health conference. To their credit, my parents disowned whatever they said after a while, but the Be in Health conference was crazy. Mm-hmm. And to the credit of the conference, since I'm being as generous as I can be, they didn't say all diseases, but they said a good amount of diseases are caused by demons. And they gave me this pseudo-scientific explanation of like how your theta and alpha brainwaves cause diseases because demons hijack them. I remember the class because I took it. It was like the kids' version, and it was just this crazy stuff about how your brainwaves are hijacked by different types of demons, and you can see the emissions and how ADHD people have like a generational curse and stuff like that. You have to pray it away.
I wonder what would happen if we explained to them that your brainwaves don't actually leave your skull.
Shh! Don't tell them that.
Okay.
Nah, but it's funny if they don't know.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I remember that.
Brainwaves and demons are hijacking them, and and you know what? Now I kind of actually, and there's people that do this. I kind of want to put coral implants in my head so I can grow horns, and they grow too.
Really?
Yeah.
That's actually awesome.
Yeah,
I wouldn't do that because I didn't know if I could get a job if I do that, but it still sounds cool.
No, you probably would have unless you worked at like a BDSM place or something like that.
I mean, you can
probably get away with it.
Grow them during like when you're not at work, but I mean, don't think they grow that fast. But yeah,
No, it does take a little time, but they do grow.
you can do it when I'm
Eventually,
retired.
yeah. Well, they eventually stop growing because, of course, the coral doesn't live for too long because it can only
really?
feed off of what's in there for so long, and then it's not in an environment that is healthy
point.
for it, right? So
You're right about that.
they get about yay big, and then they just stop growing. So
Looks like Bob Smith's making the same argument I did.
the word Easter is of Saxon origin.
Yeah, I know. You're right. It is. I'm not saying it
Patron.
isn't pagan. I'm just saying my dad overreacted about it.
Much of Easter, yeah, Ocean's right. Much of Easter it does come from pagan origins, but the Christians, over time, especially the Catholics, have added their own things to the stories, right?
Yeah, it's Christianized, but yeah. Like, I agree on that. I'm just saying my dad overreacted because
you got
hunting for eggs.
Yeah, well, yeah. Oh, because that's so evil.
He's gonna worship Satan by looking for an egg.
Yeah. Yeah, and Satan's going to pop out of the ground himself. Go, look, you found one. All right. You get a free weekend at the Good Parlor, hell.
There we go. Gives out like tickets for like the spa in hell.
Yeah, it's the spa. We can drink water, lots of steam. It's great.
Yeah. Back to where I was at though. Let me see. Back to where I was at. Oh yeah, about Samhain and all that. But yeah, that debate really was what pushed me to look into Druidism, and it was basically what led me on down to on Samhain to make my convert, because I had bought up my cloak and all that other stuff already for it, and I've pretty much got ready for it because I wanted to go. I knew I wanted to do it, but I didn't technically do it until Samhain because I wanted to be on Samhain that I did it because it's a special occasion.
I'll be honest with you, Cingeto. One of the reasons I really wanted to talk to you, and I know we had a few. Shit, fuck. We'll have to reschedule. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
We'll have to reschedule. No, it's okay. It's not. I'm not. This is like I'm so laid back. It's not even fun. It's probably too much for my own good sometimes, but it doesn't really matter. Yes, Ocean, I will ask him about it because I saw your post there and he just touched on it. But I'll be honest with you. I was very much into Druidism myself.
Oh, interesting.
Part of paganism that I took to
which
that
type?
and the Norse mythology. Probably because I'm of Welsh origin. A mix of Welsh and some Irish in there. So I just, it's some old, I don't know, Celtic-y sort of versions.
By type, I meant like, did you do Reconstructionist or Revivalist?
Oh, I think, you know what? Like, I didn't really.
Was it Obad?
No.
ADF?
That sounds more familiar. It was quite some time ago.
There's like Arch something. I'm horrible at Gaelic. Don't tell anyone don't tell anyone I told you that, but I'm terrible at Gaelic.
Yeah, all 19 people in the audience just didn't hear that. These are my Jedi mind tricks. You know nothing.
I didn't say anything about Gaelic. No, but what was it? Because ADF, I know. I like them. Technically, I'd say their Druidism is like halfway between Reconstructionist and Revivalist. Because when they say Druid, they mean kind of like an expert within any Proto-Indo-European related religion. So that's what I would say.
That's kind of the way I looked at it too back in the day.
It was. I like them. I like the idea. I actually have beads of that incorporate their ritual structure.
Oh, yeah, cool.
They didn't give it out from the website, but I found it on Etsy. I liked Etsy.
Etsy's great for that kind of thing.
Oh, it was awesome. I got my sickle from Etsy too.
Sweet.
Which my parents ended up finding actually one time, and they literally texted me about it, and my stepdad was asking if I used it for animal sacrifices. And I'm like, it's a sickle. How do you use that for an animal sacrifice?
Oh, yeah. You haven't seen the cat around lately, have you? Hang on 1 second. I'll show you something real quick here that I still have because I gave away my cloak and a bunch of other things. But hang on, I'll be right back.
Oh, Ocean says the ADF is going through a tough time. Oh,
this is my old staff that I had. It had the crystal on the top.
Oh, I love that.
The moon with the wolf here. All right, let's see if you can get it better.
That is gorgeous.
Right there, see there?
I really like that.
There's a little dragon in there as well. I had Lauren Lake etched into it because that's where I found it. And there's stones all throughout it. Right. And there's a wolf tooth in here.
Oh, that is so cool.
And of course, I put a little stopper on the end of it so it wouldn't.
Oh, I have one on my staff too.
Yeah.
I'll send you a picture later on.
That'd be great, man. Yeah. So there's rocks and stuff.
I got all sorts of stuff. That is really wow.
And a little gem in here. Yeah, it was. So
it's a wolf tooth.
Yeah, that's a wolf tooth right there.
Like, what is it? Like a molar? I can't tell.
It is. It's a molar.
All right. That is awesome.
Yeah, this was made for me by my biological sister, who was very much into this stuff herself. She was Wiccan, and I was a little bit into the Wiccanism as well. But of course, I'll never get rid of this now because she was killed in a motorcycle accident a few years ago. So yeah,
I'm sorry.
Oh, well, what do you do, man? Shit happens.
I know. I still need to give my condolences.
Of course, I would have done the same thing too. It was really tough because when you were without them for so long, and then I'd only recently met them in about 2000. So she passed away in 2016. So 16 years of getting to know her anyways, which I'm grateful for. Because her and I connected on many ways that nobody else in the family did. And then it's weird because I have different kinds of connections with my other sister that were just as strong. So the siblings, we all had these great connections. So, and one of the funniest things I thought, my dad did this thing, my birth dad did this thing when he uses scissors, like when he's cutting, he did something that I thought I was like the only one that did. Like when I cut sometimes and it's subconscious, it doesn't really register. I start going with my mouth, right? Like I'm chewing or something. And I looked over and saw him doing, I go, you fucker, that's where I got that from. He's like, what are you talking about?
Speaking of eating, I don't know why this popped in my head though. Don't tell anyone I told you this.
Okay, cover your ears, guys.
All right, chat, cover your ears. But I still, this is so embarrassing. But when I do math, I still think of you know how when you have the greater than or less than sign, and you say if it points to this number because it wants to eat it because it's bigger. I still think of it like that, like the alligator. Pac-Man. I always thought of the alligator.
Yeah.
I still think of that.
It's funny how the little tricks they give you stick with you, isn't it?
Yeah, it's still there. That's how I remember it, honestly.
Yeah, sure. You gotten used to it, right? So yeah, why not? Whatever works.
Right. It works.
So, yeah. So what do your folks know about your paganism? I assume they do by now.
No, I've kept it. Yeah, I'm good at keeping it quiet. Why?
I was just going to see what their kind of reactions you got from them.
Oh no, I'm saying why do you think they'd know by now?
Oh, I see. I guess I look at this from my perspective normally because I had no problem telling people anything. Right? Like I don't believe your shit. Right?
I want to tell them, but I don't know how they're going to react, and I don't want to do it right now. I don't know. I just don't think it's right time yet. I do plan on telling them, but I just don't know. It doesn't feel like the right time yet.
Yeah. I always say to people, never. This is sort of a tough thing, right? This is something that you can only come forth with when you're absolutely comfortable with doing it. And if you're not, and you fear that there may be some harsh repercussions, then I'm all for staying, hidden away, that sort of part of you.
I don't know if the repercussions will be so harsh. I just think that it's just going to be socially destructive.
Okay. And that could be bad too, right? So you do it whenever you're ready to do it. That's what I always tell people.
Well, thank you. Yeah, that's the main thing. I've told some people, but I haven't told my parents yet. So yeah.
Right. Actually, IQ just posted your Styx and Stonehenge.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, the Discord.
The Discord, and there's also a YouTube channel, by the way. The link is below. I didn't know you had a Styx and Stonehenge Discord. Otherwise, I would have put that in there. But he's on it. That's why he's my moderator extraordinaire.
That is awesome.
Everyone in my chat's got a fucking wrench, it seems.
That's cool.
But anyway.
More activity.
Yeah. So what was it? Ocean was saying you should go into a little bit more about what did he say? Neil's whipping out his staff on cam again. Yep. Well, let's talk about that breakout debate or whatever that you had.
Oh, mine with IP?
Yeah.
I love that debate. IP is so nice, though. Honestly, he was really nice in there in the debate. Mainly I remember doing that, and Ocean and them helping me prepare Ocean and Beofold specifically. They were
Mhm.
giving me a bunch of sources and stuff for the for for Easter and its origins. I remember him making an argument from Lent. The main arguments I decided to stay with were syncretic arguments. Like, I wasn't going to argue that the whole thing came from paganism, because that's a weak argument and that would have destroyed any chances. Because I don't really think you can make that kind of argument, because there's evidence of things like Pasha and stuff like that. It's still called
Mhm.
Pasha in some areas, like in Eastern Europe and stuff, like Russia and Ukraine and stuff.
Mhm.
So that would have been a weaker argument, but I did decide to make the argument that it did have pagan elements in it, that it expanded across Western Europe and things along those lines, because there's plenty of evidence towards that, and also to make the argument about Eostra being the being the goddess it came from, because there's evidence of her existence based off Proto-Indo-European studies, because the Dawn goddess is a very common archetype within those kind of religions.
Sure.
So it's part of evidence. There's also inscriptions of her within a goddess triad, I think, called the Matrone, which is common in
Mhm.
Gaul and the Germanic tribes. And then there is also evidence of her based off of her name coming from the same name that means east or Easter, which is also where the dawn rises from. And there's similar cognates within Norse stuff, and also her name's cognate with her month, however you say it in Anglo-Saxon, Eostrimonoth and Ostarmonoth in German.
Mhm.
So those are the main evidences I went with. I could have done better if it was on Modern Day Debate, and I could have done better if I stuck to my points a bit more and was a bit more stubborn, but I at least was stubborn at the very end of it.
Do you felt you had the better hand in the discussion? Or?
I've been told I did. I didn't know, because I saw the comments and they were saying I got my ass whooped, but then everyone else was telling me that I whipped his ass, and then so I don't know.
MDD has a lot of theists watching their stuff, so of course they're going to say that.
A lot of theists.
Well, I mean,
I know what you mean. I'm just teasing. No, I'm teasing, but
I think you guys, pagans, I would have always classified myself as a deist of some kind, rather than theist, because theist, I always, me anyways, always attached it to Abrahamic faiths. So that's kind of why I would have called myself a deist.
No, I'm just teasing you, but yeah. About the I was just teasing you about the theist thing. I just like to give people hard time sometimes about that.
That's okay. That's okay. I put myself in that position to be
Wolf and Ocean. Wolf and Ocean think I won the debate, so there you go. That's what I need.
He says you did really well, and Wolf in all caps, Cingeto won that debate. No question.
No question.
And Ocean says, I'd tell you if you got your ass whipped.
He would. I know he would.
John Peterson just posted a link to that in the chat. Thank you, John.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, theists will believe they won. That's right. Atheist News is in the chat as well. I don't know if you saw any of my Jeopardy stuff on there. I won the first one. They got my ass handed to me in the second one. So
I'll need to see that. What is Atheist Jeopardy? I'm curious.
Atheist Jeopardy? Oh, it's on Atheist News channel. He does it like on average, it's been about once a month. I think he's done about 4 or 5 of them now. Steve, how many?
Is it like a Jeopardy on the Bible, or like Jeopardy on the atheist stuff? Okay.
Yeah, well, it's just questions you can ask atheists, and sometimes they're biblically related, sometimes they're atheistly related, stuff like that.
Interesting.
Very, very fun. It's fun to do.
For my Bart Sadiq class, I mean, I have a bunch of Bible facts memorized, a lot about the Old Testament, mostly.
Right. That's what I'm more versed in, is Old Testament.
I still think it's a fun story. There's a lot of fun stories I like.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the passages I find funny. Like, what was the one in Genesis?
I was a fan of David and Goliath was one of my favorites.
What was it? What was one of those stories where the God cursed the guy or killed him for jacking off? What was it? I don't remember the name. It's in Genesis.
Curse for why does this not stand out to me?
Like, it was like right there, because he didn't put his seed in like the woman God wanted him to have a baby with.
Oh,
and I can't remember what it was. So we put it on the dry ground. So I just interpreted it as jacking off. So
was that Jephthah or
it was in Genesis. So I think it was related to Judah. It had to do with Judah and the whore. I think it might have been around that time of that story. Judah and the whore.
Yeah.
If I can remember, I think it was mentioned around that area, but I cannot remember right now.
Yeah, no, it's not coming to mind either. That's the problem. I'll start looking for it, and then I'll go, oh, fuck, that's it, right? And then, but I'm not going to start Googling shit right now while I'm talking to you. So.
It's cool, but yeah. And one of my favorite stories originally was
Jephthah.
It might have been Jephthah.
Mark. Yeah, he spilled it on the ground. It was Jephthah.
Okie doke. Okay. That was who then. Yeah.
Oh, we were on the right track. We had the J.
Yeah, we got the J right. There we go.
The classic jacking off story in the Christian Bible. They should add that one to the Penthouse forums. Potion pull-out method. Oh, it's beautiful. Yet another reason why I love that guy. All right, so let's carry on here.
Where was I going?
Guys, stop distracting us, you pricks.
No, I like being distracted. It's okay. No,
and they're not really pricks. They're all good people.
They're awesome. I love your
I'm
channel.
The prick.
No, you're not. Don't say that about yourself. You're awesome.
But if I don't, who will?
I don't know.
Well, my mom would, but she's not around.
Let's see. Where was I going with all this stuff? Ezekiel 23:20. What is that? Oh my gosh. Is that the golden dildo passage? I hope not.
The golden dildo.
You've never heard that one?
No.
Oh my gosh.
That's not ringing a bell.
It's literally, oh my gosh. I don't know why. I looked up the dirtiest passages in the Bible. I wanted to see them.
I don't think I have it here. No, I don't have it in here. It's in the other room. Shit. Okay. I've got all the religious texts in here.
You got the pseudepigraphic, all those, like the Book of Jubilee. That's a good book. Or I
even have the Book of Nod.
Oh boy, I haven't even heard that one. I don't even remember that one.
That's because it's actually about vampires. So
okay, that's why. You could have caught me if I was lying about knowing it, and I would have said, "Yeah, I know that one," but I don't. I don't know the Book of Nod.
It's
canon now.
Well, not really. It's outside. It's more from the there's this. You remember Vampire the Masquerade, the game you could play?
I don't play games that much, so no.
Okay. Well, there's a game called Vampire the Masquerade, and I still actually have an Ankh that's designed from that.
Ooh,
beautiful. And it comes from that. It's part of that storyline, that canon. It talks about it's of Lilith, who was the original before Eve, right?
Oh yeah, I know that story.
And she moved to the land of Nod, and basically was the queen there, and she was immortal or some shit, and it turns out she was a vampire and all that.
Wasn't she like a snake person too? That's what I always thought.
Yep, serpent, and she gave birth to Cain. She didn't give birth to Cain, but she took Cain in after he was
and had his children.
Out of Eden. Yeah, and then that was the people. They were all fucking vampires or some shit. I don't know. They twist the story towards that just for story's sake.
Oh, I should say that's the Donkey Come verse. Well,
the Donkey
Gross. You all right?
I'll be okay. Wait, there's still coffee in here.
Oh wow. Sorry about that. Oh well, yeah.
I'm wired. I'm like that little chipmunk from Hoodwinked.
I love Hoodwinked.
Yeah, it's great.
God.
Hey, let's go. Hey, go.
Now I'm thinking of what's that squirrel from what's it called? Over the Hedge.
Over the Hedge? Yeah, I think
that?
they're related.
They might be.
Anyway.
So let's see, where was I going? But let me just rewind to remember where I was at. I was talking about Samhain and how I eventually left because of that, and I decided to pursue Druidry and the religion that came with it. And I remember most of this text I could find that kind of stuff were about the Gaulish Druids, so I decided to go specifically into Gaulish stuff. I'd also remembered researching what France used to be, because I know that my family comes from Huguenot background, so I wanted to research what France used to be as well. I'm related to the guy who translated the Bible into French. So I was researching that and what France used to be. I remember it was Gaul, and I also remember the Druids had a lot of inscriptions there. So that ended up that's another thing that ended up piquing my interest, especially when I researched that kind of stuff.
Cool, very cool. When people think of Stonehenge, they for whatever reason they tie it to druids, and I don't think there's really ever been an actual connection made. But
they might have used it, but I don't think they made it.
Right, but there are tons of other stone henges, we'll say, all over the fucking place that we do know they were made by some of the druidic cults. So some of them are really cool.
Yeah, most of the time the druids though use natural things that already formed too as well to do it, because they prefer to do that. That's why there's not that many archaeological remains of that kind of stuff. It's because most of it was either wood or they just used nature, which I think is respectable. Of
course, yeah. It's also less work. They just get right into the ritual, screw all the work.
Yeah, there we go. Let's get ahead.
It's a time saver.
Stone circles everywhere. You gotta have circles all over the place.
Yep, stone circles are everywhere. Yeah, it's true. Even some here. But I think there's, I think the ones here, I'm not sure if you've seen the 4-part series called Native America, which talks about all the First Nations peoples that came here way back in the day. And they're referring to any First Nations folks that were north,
like the Clovis
south,
people, like the Clovis people.
I guess they're part of it, but
those are the first ones.
Well, there's now evidence that the Ainu from Japan were here long before anyone. They would come off of the coast and do fishing. Yeah.
Interesting.
But they would travel along the coastline and then end up over here. There's lots of evidence for them here. And of course, there's Kennewick Man, which is actually a Caucasian skeleton that dates back to 13,000 years. Almost.
Fascinating.
Yeah. There's all kinds of stuff. I believe that people have been coming here for a long time. But First Nations, which is why we ended up calling them First Nations, because they were the first to settle here and make this home.
I like that name.
Right? Yeah, I think it's more apropos. And they settled all over North and South America. Every single person that is in North and South America stems from those original peoples that came over. And they all had a symbol that was very common, where it was a spiral. And you'll often find a lot of stone work like that in a spiral. I can't remember exactly what it was referenced to, but they found evidence of what they call a center for knowledge, where the multiple tribes would get together every few months and discuss politics throughout the tribes and stuff. And they have evidence now that there's like a little city of sorts made out of like huts and stuff like that, where they would all get together, and a big one where all the chiefs would meet.
Is this really, in Canada?
Really cool. In North America.
In general?
Yeah.
Okay.
Robbie Robertson is the host for that show, and I highly recommend it if you can find it.
I will check it out if I can find YouTube or something. I'll check it out.
Atheist lies.
3,000-year-old explain that the young earthers.
Yeah.
I would if I was still young earther. Young Earth creationist, or if I was still one of those people, I probably would have said, well, they just misdated it. It's just right after the flood. That's what happened.
Yeah, of course.
It makes perfect sense.
And dinosaurs were on the ark.
They were riding dinosaurs in North America.
I looked it up a little while ago, and during the time, 2,000 years ago, there were over 2 million species of beetles. Where the fuck did they put all those? The beetles alone could have filled the fucking ark, and that's not including the ants, the flying insects, or worms.
There's so much stuff. Like Ken Ham's argument is that they just need a common one, and they could split off from there.
Right.
But that's a terrible argument, because there's still so many common ones you need, and you need a lot more than just 2. Because I remember studying bottlenecks and how that affects things. Like the closest anything's ever gone to that would be like the cheetahs, which were at one point only 7 species or 7 members strong.
Same with giraffes.
And look at it. Really, with giraffes too.
No, but look 7 distinct species of giraffe. I think.
No. I mean, they had 7 members.
In the total population.
Individuals, yes, right. One time. That's like for their bottlenecks. So it was like really bad. And look at the genetic diversity between them. There's not much at all. So, Jesus, sore. But
I saw that too. That made me laugh.
But you're not gonna end up with them splitting off into millions of varieties, or at least many animals doing that if that happens. So that's good evidence against bottlenecks. So you'd have to get every individual species to continue them onto the new Earth, which you just can't fit.
Atheist News just put termites in the ark would have been an end to that story. I say that all the time, actually.
Or carpenter bees,
or
just the
carpenter
water
ants.
damage. Or yeah,
yeah.
Lots of animals like to bore into wood.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Or beavers or anything.
Pine beetles.
Beavers.
Yeah, there's no mention
rodents.
of beavers.
Yeah, rodents would do horrible stuff to the ark. It's easy to get through wood if you're a rodent.
Oh yeah.
Like mice, rats, all of them.
No, I've been in there like, where the fuck is all this water coming from?
That reminds me. Fun fact. I don't know if you know this, but like the Ark Encounter suffered water damage the first time it rained.
Woodpeckers.
Wait, woodpeckers? Oh no. But
we
the
have
Ark
one
Encounter
that fucking flies around here and bangs on the metal roofs all the time. I'm like, shut up, you motherfucker! I'm trying to sleep.
At night, really? I don't think they're nocturnal.
No. This is morning.
Oh, okay. He wakes you up. There you go.
Yeah, he's my natural alarm clock.
Instead of a rooster, you got a woodpecker in Canada.
Yeah,
we got woodpeckers down here too.
Oh yeah, they're everywhere.
I love woodpeckers though. They're really cool animals.
Yeah, some of them are beautiful. We got the bigger ones, like the big.
Do you have the redhead ones?
Some of them do have the red crest. Those are smaller, but the bigger ones here, they're like almost crow size. That's how big they are.
Do you want to know one animal I love, but everyone else seems to hate?
What?
Vultures. I think they're beautiful.
Bald is beautiful.
I mean, yeah. Hey, Ocean. He said bald is beautiful, but
Ocean's beautiful. There's no doubt about that.
No doubt. But
inside and out, I might add.
Did Noah bring trees on the ark? I don't know. Got to ask Ken Ham. He's the one who knows.
Yeah, did he bring trees? Did he bring all the fish in too? Because the mixture of salt and fresh water would have wiped all of them out, except for jellyfish. Yeah,
I guess jellyfish and like bull sharks could have handled it.
Oh yeah, they live through everything. Oh, what's this? Oh, I'm being called on my work phone by a number I don't recognize. Oh, fuck yourself. It's probably there's this Asian Chinese. I think they're Mandarin they're speaking, if I can hear the dialect correctly. And they always start out, I'm nah, doing their talk. And I'm like, I don't understand you. And then it turns out it's recorded. So every time they call in, I just hang up. I'm like, I don't understand a word you're saying, so I have no interest.
Me think I did one tweet a while ago about the Ark Encounter. I said, man, Ken Ham's really showing Noah. He made the Ark Encounter with steel beams. Take that, Noah. Can't believe you didn't think of that. Something like that. I said something like that. We're like, Noah's so dumb. He didn't even use steel in the Ark like Ken Ham did. Yeah.
Ken would have made a much better Noah.
Yeah, Ken should have been Noah. He had steel beams holding that thing up.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry. I'm enjoying trashing on Ken Ham. I have some bitterness left in me.
I'll never stop you from doing that.
Thank you.
Yeah, Aaron Ra would be proud.
I'll make him proud.
Yeah. We are closing in on the hour, so let's get to your story and let's bring it to a cap here. And
that was my main story. I don't know where else to go about that.
Okay.
If there's anything else.
How has it changed your life? Going from one to the other, yeah.
People who've known me beforehand could tell you a lot, but I used to be a lot more bitter of a person in a more silent way. I used to be more controlling, and I used to really try to force things on people, like religion or politics or all that kind of stuff on people. When I know they didn't want it, but I thought it'd be best for them because I thought I could tell what's best for them because I knew it because the Bible told me so. I was kind of one of those people. I was hyper evangelical. I was just a really toxic person. I almost lost a friend over it too because of how forceful I was, and that was one of the things that awoke in me to how toxic I was being. So I've been trying very hard to distance myself from that. I'd other people a lot and things, and just try to convince people of my religion. So I'd have a group of people from my religion, all that kind of stuff, over and over. I was just controlling, and I cared quotation marks about people, so I wanted to convert them because I was scared to death that they would end up dying and stuff like that. It's not an excuse, but it's just the reason I held for it. It's no excuse though. And so now I hold the anti-proselytization perspective, or I don't believe it's my calling or anything about me to ever try to force spirituality on other people. I'll make jokes about it sometimes, but I'm going to convert you to Celtic stuff out of joking. But I have strict rules against that. I distinctly hate proselytization. I will never proselytize because I believe spirituality is for each person to determine if they want to try
Personal.
it and which they do try. I believe it's best for people to choose and not for me to choose.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%.
Awesome.
And I've never really known any heathens or pagans or whatever that have ever been much into proselytization. Really, it's not spoken about unless someone asks with a hint of interest in what you are into, and then they'll talk. And then there's a discussion. It's never a proselytization. Well, this is what I do, and you should too. But it's none of that, like, ever.
Yeah, no, I don't see any point in it. Like, if people want to do it, I'll let you in. But if people don't want to do it, why would I want to try to make them? They're just gonna have uninterested people in the religion. And then what do you got? Just a bunch of people who don't want to be there but are there anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Wow. My moderators have been going there, putting out all the different
Celtic stuff seems like kinky for some reason. Whoa, no, I'm kidding.
IQ's been putting the links to all the pagans that I've had on the show.
Thank you.
Except for one, Eliakai. Have I had Eliakai on? I can't remember.
I don't think so. I thought you're having her on soon, though.
I think, yeah. I'm maybe. I'm not sure. Or we may have said I have to go into season 3 because season 2 is almost at a close. So I always do. All right, you are today, so I can take that off the schedule now because we're actually chatting and about to bring this to a close and jump into an after party. You're cool with that, right?
Oh,
right.
I'm happy. Yeah, I'm cool.
Okay, you're happy. All right.
Yeah, I like this. Is great. Hopefully you liked it.
Oh yeah, I've had a blast, dude. I love this. I love talking to people. It's another way for me to get to know these people that I've become friends with a little bit better, right? So yeah. Wednesday I've got Anthony Magnabosco. Next Saturday though there won't be a show because I have a lunch with my sister, and then I'm doing the Canadian Atheists / Atheist Republic event that evening. And then Monday, November 18th, I'll be talking with John W. Loftus. If you want to Google him and check out what he's done, he's got a couple of books out there. Then I've got Sinning Kafir, so we're going to hear another ex-Muslim story. Then November 23rd, I had Zara Kay actually scheduled for that, but she ended up, her partner ended up scheduling a trip for them because her partner really didn't know that she was scheduled to do my show. And I said, hey, you know what? Family and friends come first. My show is like totally secondary, even if that. It might even be the third level down. But so I said, yeah, I'll find someone to fill your spot. And I did. And it will be the wonderful Rachel Oates has decided to step up.
I remember her channel. I forgot to mention her, but she was also one of the people I watched when I was going agnostic, kind of transitioning out. She was another person who helped convince me. Forgot to mention her.
Yeah, well, she had influence on me as well. And when I got to meet her in person, I was fanboying on the inside because I like to remain kind of composed. But I was like, holy crap, I'm talking to Rachel Oates.
Got to wear her merch when you meet her.
Yeah.
Did you have merch?
Yeah.
I need to see.
I want the shirt that says, that's not how you science. That's a great one. And then I've got Tom Jump, or T Jump as everyone knows him, on the 25th. And Nervardia, one of our other Down Under friends. Adam Skeptic, Prince of Atheism, Aria, who's not actually on Twitter, Panda Actual, Dapper Dinosaur, a Raging Atheist, Pikachu, the Gay Atheist, and Tau DeMille will be the closer for that. And then I've just started taking... oh yeah, look how bright that is. I'm going to blind you guys. I just started taking... I got halfway through January now because I'm not entirely sure what my scheduling is going to be because I'll be doing 2 other shows. So I'll have a show that I'll be doing with Godless Mom where we talk to believers one week and we talk to non-believers. We'll go back and forth like talking to atheists and believers back and forth about beliefs and why we have them and how we end up where we are.
Sounds interesting.
It's like an epistemology type thing. And then I also have a show with my friend Randolph Richardson, which is going to be more along the lines of like a Talk Heathen Atheist experience where people call in to discuss the sort of the same ideas. So, yeah, you guys can look forward to that. But anyway, Cingeto, man, this has been so much fun. Thank you.
I've enjoyed this so much. Thank you for letting me on.
Oh, my pleasure. I always, as I told Ocean, because Ocean was literally the first pagan that I had on the show. I took an instant liking to Ocean when I first met him over a year now ago, and because we had a connection. I felt we had like an instant connection because I used to be pagan as well, amongst other things. So we had that connection, and we kind of went with that, and we developed a friendship from that point on. And he jumped into a few of my after parties there, and then I finally got him on the show, and had to have one of these, or got to have one of these chats with him, which was really cool. I'm glad that he decided to jump in. Bad Temper Badge, I didn't even see you sneak in here, man.
Diner stream with him
with Bad Temper.
Yeah,
I've done it. He's been on my show. Yes.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, most of the people that you see in there have been on my show, including Inquisitive Quandary.
Tony, don't bring up the bugs. Gosh, Tony.
Don't bring up the bugs.
It's an inside joke. I don't know how Tony found out.
I don't know. Tony's like everywhere.
He is.
He knows things.
He's like the NSA. He's everywhere.
21 watching, 9 likes. Yeah, it happens, man. I pointed that out in the Talk Heathen chat the other day when I was doing moderating for them. And I said, wow, we've got like 1,000 something people watching the show, and there's like 218 likes or something, or 258, I think it was. Tony knows all. Tony is God.
It's not Ocean, it's Tony.
That's right. He's omniscient. Or maybe they're brothers, like way back in the day, I was reading something somewhere, and I have to find it again because I want to see if there's any validity behind it. But apparently, Yahweh and El is actually one of the original words for God. El, that's why we have words like Daniel, Nathaniel, Gabriel.
Like
all something of God. Elohim, Israel.
Like multiple gods, because even in Hebrew is always plural.
Yes, exactly.
That's my Hebrew coming out.
That's right. But apparently, Yahweh and El were brothers.
Oh,
they weren't even the same person.
Same. Huh.
And I think it was Yahweh was trying to plot with El to murder the father god or whatever the fuck, so that they could take their place, and it ended up being Yahweh or something.
Yahweh was.
I don't fucking know.
Huh. I don't know. I thought Yahweh was the top guy. Cause I know in
nope, he was one of the brothers.
Oh, interesting. I'll have to look into that.
Apparently, yeah, look it up because I remember God is omnipresent. I'm just annoyingly present. Israel. Isis Ra-El. Yeah, good point, Atheist News. Yeah, there is Egyptian influence in it, so that I know for sure. Anyway, let's wrap this up. Let's jump to an after party because this is the kind of stuff we can do there. If you are interested in joining Cingeto and myself, let me know through Twitter, and I'll send you a message, or I'll send you a link to join. If you're not on Twitter, or I am also on Facebook, just look me up and then I'll message me there, and I can send you one there. Anyways, thanks everyone for hanging out with Cingeto and I hope you guys enjoyed the show. We had a great time doing this with a lot of laughs, and some fun stuff was talked about, a lot of similarities we found out that we had, so I always like that kind of thing. And you guys finally got to see my staff. Yeah, it's like
beautiful staff.
He's always waving his staff around online. Yeah, I've got a Pornhub site, and I'm just Neil's staff. Anyway, yeah, guys, if you did like what you saw, do as these guys are trying to say. Hit that like button and share it with people if you dug it. If you are interested, yeah. If you are interested, guys, and you like what I do and you want to help support the show, I do now have a Patreon. There's links below. You can also do a one-time donation on my PayPal Me, and I also have a Amazon wish list. And all the links for Cingeto are also down below as well, for his Twitter and his channel that he co-hosts. You can check those out as well. And also there are some links down there for people who have recently deconverted and are having problems, or a little bit depression, that kind of thing. There are links down below that can be helpful to you. I now have 4. I used to only have the 3, but there's the Recovering from Religion, the Clergy Project, Secular Therapy, and Journey Free, who belongs to Marlene Winnell, who I interviewed recently, and she takes people on retreats to talk about that sort of thing, and it's very, very interesting stuff. Anyway, until next time, guys, like I always say at the end of these things, like the late, great Christopher Hitchens once said, it's called faith because it's not knowledge. And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.